A partial government shutdown is a growing possibility as the Senate earlier today failed to advance the six-bill appropriations package that passed the House last week. Now, even if Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and the White House come to an agreement on a change to the funding package, the House would have to sign off on it because they've already passed it, and they're not going to return until Monday. The deadline is midnight Friday night. Joining us now is Congressman Andrew Clyde, who is a member of the House Appropriations Committee, the Budget Committee, and the Freedom Caucus. He represents the 9th Congressional District of Georgia. Congressman Clyde, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Well, thank you, Tony. Great to be on with you today.
All right, so the Freedom Caucus earlier this week sent a letter to the president saying, hold fast, don't budge, don't negotiate with the Democrats over ICE funding. That obviously can't happen unless it goes back to the House, and I've talked to the Speaker, and passage of something like that in the House looks very problematic.
Well, you know, these appropriation bills were all pre-negotiated with the appropriations committees in both the House and the Senate, Democrat and Republican. And so, you know, we in the House, we added some amendments to it that did not pass. So we didn't get any additional amendments beyond what was actually negotiated. So, you know, for the Democrats to now step back and say, hey, you know, because of this, quote, crisis now in Minneapolis, which has been going on for a long time, and it honestly is a tremendous amount of the responsibility rests with the political leaders who refuse to support the federal government in its responsibilities to uphold immigration law. But because of that, all right, they're trying to use that as leverage then to get some sort of a settlement to handcuff the immigration and ICE, you know, to handcuff ICE and what they're doing. And that's just not right. They need to stick to the deal that was pre-negotiated and agreed upon. We in the House passed it. We've passed all 12 of our appropriation bills now, and the Senate has to finish their job, and the Democrats have to uphold their end of the deal.
It's interesting today, earlier today, 8 Republicans joined with the Democrats in blocking the advancement of these appropriations bill. Now, their reasoning was different. Some said that there were too many egregious, earmarks in this package. What do you see as the way forward here? I mean, are we going to experience another partial government shutdown?
Well, you know, I have a problem with those earmarks too, Tony. As a matter of fact, we had an amendment in the House to strip those earmarks out of the bill because some of them are absolutely egregious. So we could save about $16 billion of spending if we would eliminate all those earmarks. But that didn't happen in the House. That amendment was defeated. And so, you know, if the Senate wants to try and do that, that's fine. You know, we'll be back in on Monday and we can vote early next week if that's going to be the case. But I think what needs to happen is this bill needs to pass so that we can continue to fund ICE in its entirety. Now, mind you, the One Big Beautiful Bill gave ICE a tremendous amount of money, gave the Department of Homeland Security $100 billion, all right, for this illegal alien removal program and the things that go with it. But so they're not going to run out of money anytime soon, okay? But you still have the other aspects of the Homeland Security agency that need to be funded, like the Secret Service, like TSA, like the air traffic controllers. You know, all of these, like Customs Border Patrol, all of these are incredibly important for the security of our nation, and the Democrats are putting that at risk by refusing to fund the government and to fund this agency.
And they're not being totally honest with saying that they're going to withhold this funding to affect ICE because, as you just pointed out, ICE is not going to be affected by this.
That's correct, but the other departments in Homeland Security, the other agencies in Homeland Security are certainly going to be affected by it. I mean, that's literally what stopped the last government shutdown, was the fact that the airlines were not going to be able to continue safely flying, and the Department of the Transportation Secretary said, hey, we're going to have to start cutting out flights between cities because we cannot guarantee them to fly safely. because of the lack of air traffic controllers and the fact that TSA wasn't getting paid. I mean, this is a huge problem that is completely avoidable, but it's of the Democrats' own making.
You know, the Republicans in the Senate that oppose, some of them, some of your colleagues, conservative colleagues, Mike Lee, Rick Scott, Ron Johnson, could it be they're sending a message to the Republican leadership, hey, if you negotiate with Democrats over this, you're going to have to talk with us about the concerns we have in these appropriations bills?
Oh, sure. I think that's certainly part of it. You know, this is the thing. We need to eliminate the filibuster in the Senate. That's what has to happen. Whether we go to a talking filibuster, which is what we had prior to 1975, and make the Democrats, speak up, and they can talk as long as they want, but once they're finished speaking, and once they're exhausted, then only 51 votes for passage. That's really what needs to happen here, and I think the Democrats are really, really pushing their luck. And I hope that Leader Thune realizes that and eliminates the silent filibuster, as we call it. Because as we know, a couple of years ago, the Democrats tried to eliminate it, and it was only Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, who neither of which are here today. All right, they're no longer serving. It was only those two who stopped it. So as soon as, if the Democrats ever get the majority again in the Senate, I believe the filibuster will be gone for Republicans.
Well, that's been an ongoing debate since I've even been here for the last 25 years, is the fact that the filibuster, if it goes away, the same rules apply for the Democrats when they come in. And so a lot of the stuff we would be able to pass could quickly be undone by the next ruling majority in the Senate. I think there's an argument to be made on both sides of that. I'm a little hesitant to say that the filibuster is the problem. I think we need to get more people out voting and get the balance in the Senate a little higher so that we can pass these measures. Where do you see this coming down to? Do you see a negotiated agreement? Maybe I'm hearing word that there could be a temporary extension, partial, but wouldn't that still require the House to vote on it before they could do that?
Any change by the Senate, even a small change, will require a vote by the House, because the bills have to be absolutely identical both in the House and the Senate. So that means if the Senate changes this, or if they delay it and simply don't pass it, then absolutely the House is going to have to weigh in on it. And we in the House have already spoken, and we said absolutely no continuing resolution for Homeland Security. So that's going to be a discussion that's going to have to be had if the senators really want to push this and do a little bit of brinkmanship here, then that's going to be a problem for a number of us in the House. Yeah. So, they better be careful about that.
Well, and I do want to point out, I was talking to the House Speaker about this earlier, that the fact that you have moved back to pretty much the normal appropriations process, passing these appropriations bills as opposed to the continuing resolutions or the huge omnibus bills, is quite significant. That hasn't happened in a couple of decades. So we're seeing progress, and I agree with you. We should not allow that to slip back. We need to hold that ground and continue to build on it. Congressman Andrew Clyde, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Tony. Always great to be with you on Washington Watch.